Happy New Year! Wait, hang on. Can you see it? Happy New Year. I am super excited to welcome in 2020. This is my very first video of the new year. Well, it's my very first time recording in the new year. So all the videos that you guys have been seeing, I've already recorded those, had those scheduled out. But this is the very first video. This is January 2020, and I'm super excited to welcome a brand new year. So I wanted to take some time to do a 2019 year in review as well as talk about my 2020 goals. The reason that I'm doing this is because I created a 2019 goals video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link to it right now. You should definitely take a look at it. And in that video, I talked about how I set 3 major goals for 2019. And today I want to share with you how I did on those goals. The first goal that I set was to do a 30-day, well, I don't know what order I said them in, but these were the goals. I wanted to do a 30-day ab training. I had bought this new course called Pierce Power Abs, and I wanted to commit to it and do it for 30 days straight. So that was number one. Second thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to start a skincare routine so that I could work on my face and the skin on my face. And so that's the second thing. And then the third thing I wanted to do was save an extra $7,000. So how did I do on those goals? Well, I will say this. Firstly, if you set a goal, but you don't set the action steps that will lead you to that goal, you're more than likely not going to reach that goal. So I'm actually going to start with the goal of saving an additional $7,000. I did not reach that goal. I did put some money aside, but I wasn't paying attention. And so what happened was I started getting closer to the end of the year and I was like, oh crap, I haven't set aside enough on like a monthly or weekly basis in order to save an extra $7,000. And I realized that I didn't set myself up for success. So what I did closer to the end of the year was I created a new account and I set an automatic transfer to like automatically go from my account into my savings account, from my checking account to my savings account. And that really helped. By the end of the year, I had saved around $1,800, but obviously it wasn't $7,000. So I'm definitely going to set that as a goal again this year. And actually I should probably work out the numbers to figure out what that will be with my automatic saving, but essentially it's going to be around $7,000 by the end of the year. So I'm going to set that as another goal for 2020. And part of the reason that I feel like this is important for me is because I pay myself from my business, and it's not like I have a specific paycheck that comes in on the 15th and the 30th, the 1st, the 15th, or every 2 weeks like a lot of people have. Basically, the way that my business is set up is it's a pass-through LLC, which means that if there's money in the business account, I can pull out as much as I'd like because it passes through and I just pay taxes on everything basically. So what I've decided to set up just to make it a little bit more structured is to pay myself on the 2nd of every month just one payment, and essentially start getting into the habit of doing payroll basically, where that money has to be sent at the start of every month, and to put myself on a monthly budget instead of an every 2-week budget. So in the past, I was paying myself on the 15th and the 30th, but then like sometimes if I needed extra money, I would just go into the account and pull extra money out. And so I'm not doing that anymore. It's on the 2nd, I cut myself a check basically and transferred over into my personal account from my business account. And then I've got my automatic transfer that's coming from there, and it's coming out every single week. So I feel like I put myself in a better place for that this year. The second goal that I had was to work on a skincare routine. And if I can find the picture, I'll put up the initial picture that I took around the start of last year. And then I also took a picture today before I put my makeup on for recording. And so you can kind of see the difference. So I will say I did do a skincare routine. So I started doing some serums and some under eye treatments, as well as making sure that when I wash my face and remove my makeup, I'm actually, getting everything off and not just using one of those makeup wipes. I bought a Burt's Bees oil remover, cleansing oil, which has really been helpful. It's similar to taking your makeup off with coconut oil, but it's like not as heavy. And I found it to be really, really helpful. My only issue is that, and this is a little weird, but like I use olive oil on my skin because it's got really good omegas and I have eczema, and it's the only thing that prevents me from A, looking ashy, and B, from like having dry skin. So it's practical from a visual standpoint as well as, keeping my skin smooth and clear. And I add like a little bit of peppermint oil in it to give it a different smell. But sometimes when after I get out of the shower and then like I bend over to maybe clip my toenails or something like that, my cheek touches my leg where I have olive oil on it. And then I tend to get pimples on my face. And then what happens is I start messing with them and then I get these little dots. And so that's another thing that I feel like I am going to have to work on. It's kind of weird to talk about it, but it's something that I feel like I just need to pay more attention to. The other thing that I did was I did buy some different face care products, and I'm going to try those out. One of them is like a orange skin brightening thing. And then if it, push comes to shove, I might actually just speak with a dermatologist to see what I can do for my skin, because, when I was younger, I really had like very bright skin. And, obviously as you get older, I'm in my mid-30s now, as you get older, everything changes. So I didn't pay attention to like really doing a really good face routine when I was younger. And so now I just want to make sure that I'm still taking care of my skin so that I still look like my age. I still want to look young. Like I don't want to look older than my age, and I don't want to mess up my skin or ruin it or anything like that. So I am still working on that. So that's kind of the second goal. So I would say that goal was achieved because I did put a skincare routine in place. But as far as getting my skin to look the way I want it to look, I guess I probably should have defined that, because there's no way to really know if that goal was reached or met. So that was the second goal. So 2019 is not looking good so far, is it? The third goal that I had, and before I get to the third goal, if you guys have suggestions on face products or like things that you use for your skin, definitely comment below. Let me know. I'm researching like all sorts of products. So please give me an idea of some things that you recommend, and maybe I can try it out. It helps you to know my skin type. I have normal skin. It can be like my actual like body is like relatively dry, but like my face is not necessarily dry. Sometimes I get a little oil in my T-zone, but that's about it. And I typically use like Burt's Bees products or all natural products, simply because I'll break out with anything that has like fragrance or sulfates or anything like that, because it really aggravates my skin and my eczema. So definitely comment below. Let me know your suggestions. Third goal, which I definitely met, which was to do the 30 days Pierce Power Abs program. So here's how that went. The first couple of days of the month, I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then like I fell off, and I got discouraged because I felt like, well, I didn't do all 30 days in a row. And so did I already miss reaching this goal? And then I realized that if I quit, then yeah, I definitely didn't reach the goal. But if I just picked it up where I left off, then I would be fine. And that's what I did. So after the first couple of days where I kind of dropped off, I just picked it right up where I left off, and I just started doing every single day after that. And I really feel like it helped me to kind of like get started with that habit. After the 30 days, it was just like, it was way too much. I didn't want to do abs every single day. And so I just kind of let it go. But I did reach that goal. So out of the 3 goals that I set in that 2019 video, that's the update for that. Now, 2020 is here, and it's time to set some new goals. First goal, I'm going to pick up the $7,000. Again, I want to save an additional $7,000 for myself in like an emergency savings fund. So that is already set up. In order to do that, and in order to make sure that gets done this year, I've got a weekly automatic transfer that's going out. It's coming out no matter what. The second thing that I would like to do is I want to get on stage for a bikini competition. So if you guys have been following me on Instagram, then you already know I've already announced this. If we're Facebook friends, and you've seen that and seen those details as well. But I am planning to get on stage to compete with the WBFF in 2020 in Orlando in June. And that is, it's actually already been set in motion. I've hired a coach to help me get my body the way it needs to be, as well as my nutrition. I have registered for the actual competition. So I've already spent like $700 to register in 2 categories. And I'm really, really excited about that. So that's goal number 2. And in order for me to reach that goal, I just need to stay consistent with my eating habits as well as working out. I've got about 5.5 months or, 6 months. So yeah, 5.5 months before the competition. So I just got to get that. And that's goal number 2. My third goal, let's see. I don't know. Do I want to have a third goal? I will say my third goal, I'll put a business goal in for this year. And let's see. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that third goal might be. I would love to actually hear from you. What are some of your goals that you have for 2020? And if I think of a third goal, I will share it on my Instagram. But I feel like a major one for me, like I've already reached a lot of the financial goals that I had for my personal finances, that I had for my business. And like, now I've got the savings goal. So that's a financial goal. Far as my body, like this is like a major goal for me to get on stage. And I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of my effort towards that. And so I don't want to really stress myself out too much with adding too many additional goals. So I'm going to say those are my 2 goals for 2020. And I would love to hear from you. What are your goals for 2020? And let's cheer each other on. If you'd like to chat more about this, feel free, comment below. Let's get the conversation started. I would love to hear more of your goals and see how you do and go in 2020. Also, last and final question. Do you have any recommendations for a posing coach if you're familiar with bikini competitions? Let me know, comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.